Okay, it is, today is Wednesday, the 30th of March. It is now 6 p.m. and I'm calling to order the Finance Committee meeting. First thing on the agenda is the minutes from March 23rd and 24th.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of March 23rd and 24th as written.
Second.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, accepted. All right, next is Dave McCrae, who is our building inspector, who will take us through all the inspectors. Mr. McCrae?
Take off mute.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. What's the question?
Okay, we're gonna start with the building inspector, and you can walk us through each one of the lines and go through and explain to us the budget.
I just got notified about this meeting late Monday. I've only had about 10 to 15 minutes with Lynn to go over this at 4:30 today when I got back from a building official meeting. We've been crunching numbers yesterday trying to figure this out. So I'm just trying to bear with me on what I'm looking at here.
Okay.
I mean, where would you want me to start with this thing?
Building inspector salary.
No, I got it right here. I don't know if it's
The
right.
it's still, whatever is budgeted and allowed is, I guess there was a 2% increase for budget, but it somehow went down. I tried to ask Lynn what that variation meant. I couldn't get an answer this afternoon.
Okay, so Mr. McCrae, are you saying that Lynn provided all of these numbers to Ron?
She was trying to get money, numbers from the accountant to add up a lot of things. I was working on trying to get numbers for the inspections and things that were going on mostly in the field. A lot of the office numbers she was trying to come up with.
There was a budget request that went to the town administrator. Who did that?
From the town administrator.
Lynn did that and was asking me what some of the things were from last year, because a number of our items got cut, that money that really wasn't used, but we're pretty much down to bare bones now. If anything went override, we'd actually have to ask for extra. We got a new weights and measure guy is gonna be found. The old one just retired because he had some illness. But there's a budget for that leaves us 200 left over if that gets, when the new inspector gets hired. Other charges that we
Where does the weights and measures guy appear? In which inspector and which line?
Building inspector purchase services.
That's where the weights and measures guy goes?
Yep, his salary is gonna be 2,500, there's 27 in there, as a request, as it says on 2023.
It's the town administrator's request. It was 3382 as the department.
Right, so Lynn requested whoever put together the budget, put a request of 3382, and it's been reduced to 2700. Do you know why you asked for 3832?
I was trying to get to those numbers now, man, this is a 13-hour day for me here. I'm trying to figure, I was trying to ask her, we would have to go back over the numbers and the paperwork she was rifling through, and I haven't eaten since 5 o'clock, so I wanted to get home, and I just actually haven't eaten, it's sitting in front of me.
Okay, so Mr. McCrae, we have an opening tomorrow night. You can show up tomorrow night. And you'll have time to go through it. Because we've got to go through these numbers. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say we have sent out these invitations. I know Tamika sends them out early and then she reminds, because we will need to have some more information. So tomorrow night we do have other departments. I would say that you could probably plan on somewhere 6:30, 6:45. Would that work for you?
Last minute, I'll try for that.
Okay. If not,
We can't say try, we're gonna be here for our meeting, we gotta be here.
right. Unfortunately, we need you or Lynn to be here tomorrow because we are finishing up with the departments tomorrow.
It's not try, it's gotta
And we
adjust
need to
the
have
schedule.
this information. We need to have this information.
That's right, but I've only had 15 minutes today to try to get over, and I tried to get some of these answers, why some of the numbers were buried, and, Lynn was trying to look it up, and it just, I would have been there till
It's
by
been
now.
weeks.
Okay.
We've got 24
Does
hours now
Lynn,
to
does
get
Lynn work tomorrow?
I believe so.
Okay. So, okay, I'm gonna say that you're gonna have to sit down with Lynn tomorrow morning, and you're gonna have to get this squared away, because we will be going over this tomorrow, because we need to have these answers.
That's what I was trying to get. I know there's just, a lot of the numbers changed from budget cutting and money taken out, and she had said that Ron had taken some money here and there for things, and, why, and budget fixing, I don't know.
Okay, well, then I will expect to see you here between 6:30 and 6:45 tomorrow night to go over these budgets in detail. If you cannot make it, Mr. McCray, I would request that you have Lynn, or maybe have Lynn come with you.
Is this in person, you mean?
I don't care if it's in person or over Zoom, but we do need these answers.
Should be in person.
In person would be nice.
Yeah, would be preferred.
It's,
And the other inspector,
it's-
the other inspector.
I do understand the long day. It's a long day for all of us as well. We do understand that. We're trying to get through this so that we can provide this to the town.
I know that, I just got notified about this Monday afternoon, and we've been fortunate, Lynn's been working on it as she can. Sometimes she doesn't get the numbers back from the accountant. That's the last I heard, she was waiting for some numbers on, certain things.
Okay, well, the budget is the budget. You shouldn't need it from the accountants, because somebody gave numbers to Ron. So the budget request, someone should be able to say what you asked for and why. And then from there, we can figure out the rest.
And this didn't also, Madam Chair, this did
Oh, I know,
not just
I just
happen
was trying
today.
to find out myself this afternoon,
Well,
I just, a while ago.
This has been a couple of months.
This has been out for a couple months, Dave, just so you know. This is Darren Ross. This just didn't happen last night or this week. So it's unfortunate that you don't know, just because maybe you're not involved in this part of it, but we've had this book for 2 months. So this has been submitted to the town administrator for at least 2 months.
Oh, it's been more than that.
More
It's-
than that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So,
at least 2 months.
so, all I can say is tomorrow night, we will be asking that you be here between 6:30 and 6:45. If you cannot make it in with the answers, then I would ask that Lynn come so that she can answer. Or any of your
Yeah,
other
I'll take it
inspectors.
up- I'll take it up with her tomorrow, to finish asking what some of these number changes were and what they actually mean. That's what I was trying to figure out, like how some of the numbers were changed. But I know some of it was removed for budget fixing, and,
Okay,
I
All
can't
right.
tell you the exact numbers of why they arrived at what they were. I was trying to figure that out myself.
okay. Well, then I would ask that you take care of that tomorrow morning so that you are prepared for tomorrow night, please.
All righty,
Thank you very much.
okay.
All right.
Is he off?
So, I have a, sorry.
All right, now.
Do you know what this is?
No, it was in place of Karen must have picked it up or something. We haven't got to that yet.
Well, that guy was our whole agenda, so we're done now, right?
Yeah. Unless we have something else we
I
want
can
to talk
make
about.
dinner.
So you can go home now. And come in tomorrow.
I won't be here tomorrow.
I removed them.
Yeah, lucky.
You guys, listen, this is an interesting kind of deal with this guy. The gentleman is very good at building inspection stuff. He's a construction guy, he knows inspector stuff, but he's just not an administrator, period. The budget, you're correct, Lynn did the budget. She was supposed to go over it with him, review it, and he was supposed to be ready to prepare it.
Who's Lynn?
You're absolutely right.
Lynn is the secretary.
His administrative assistant, right? So Lynn put together, he was told, and they sent out a letter to all department heads, that I
Yep.
think I copied you on,
Yep.
they should be prepared, they should be experts in their budget.
Yep.
Don't bother having him come in, because no matter what you do, he's not gonna learn this budget, and it's the easiest budget in town, it's that small of a budget, okay? It ain't gonna happen, I brought the issue to the board of selectmen, and was told that I knew what I got when I hired him, which I frankly didn't know he was. I knew he was gonna be a great financial guy, because none of the construction guys generally are, but I never expected this. And I was told that, we should do the budget ourselves, me and Lynn should do the budget, and that's effectively what happened, or Lynn did the budget, and it's very simple.
Yeah, but she
All those
did, but there's
positions-
a lot of changes here.
They should be last year's, all the salaries should be last year's plus 2%, all the salaries should be.
No, but not what she
exactly.
requested. So did
No.
she request some because of steps?
What is this?
No, there's no steps in any of
From the
those,
fire
so there shouldn't be any steps in any of those salary lines.
No,
It should be
in
the-
your budget, but in her request.
Oh, I don't even think she put steps in her request, I don't think so.
Well,
Salary
so-
lines in my
but that's-
numbers
that's
are
the
right.
point. We don't know. It's-
Exactly.
The salary numbers
Because-
in my lines, there's no.
Because,
steps.
How does it look on
The,
your?
the weights and measures guy I told you
As to
before we even started it,
The request.
the
has
state's
to
gonna
be
come into weights and measures. It's a purchase service line and it went down by like $200.
TAs down.
Frankly, I would just leave it where it's at, but in theory, he told me he would do it for 2,500, but he's gotta send me the paperwork on that. So I would just leave the extra $200 there for right now.
So,
But there's nothing in any of those lines, the other couple of lines that you have in these accounts are, the requirements for dues and stuff like that, but there's nothing new in any of these lines, and there's only about 6 lines or something.
Capital out went up.
Went up.
But the person that's the department head should know
He's the
he's gotta
depart-
know the budget for where he's spending money.
Why was it
I
cut?
don't know.
That was my opinion, and,
Well, that's-
and
Ted,
the
I got that
department
same
head should
question.
notice, and it resulted in a fight between me and the department head. It went to the board of selectmen, and I was basically told that we kinda knew what we got when we hired him, that we should put together a budget. That's why Lynn ended up doing the budget, because it's just not in his forte.
I understand what you're saying, but I still don't agree with it.
I don't either,
guy
that's
should
what I
know
was
once
told.
he-
so wait a
been
minute.
here.
So,
So,
How can you
so
spend?
Dave works for you. And Lynn works for Dave. So, can you ask Lynn to come in?
Lynn would be able to answer the questions,
Oh,
but
Lynn's
frankly, I
great.
think I can't, because I don't think there's anything in this
Well,
budget.
so
I don't think
just,
there's any
I mean,
really-
just to show up as a matter of process for us.
Well, we could ask
she
Lynn to
did the
come in
budget.
and do it, and she could try to answer it, but
Yeah.
she did the budget, so she knows it. Like every other department that I went over the budget with her.
Yeah.
So we went through the lines, that's why I know there's no changes in salaries, it's just a 2%, and there's no steps, because no departments have steps in them.
Yes, but they asked for something. That's the problem.
Right.
Their budget requests are higher, and I want to
Well,
understand
Last year,
why.
About
Karen, you know what was
$5,000.
happening, and I think what the
I
reason for
think
that
you
is,
should both be here.
last year in this
Well, we
She should
department,
be here.
they did
Lynn-
all the
Lynn's wonderful.
line
She'll
items
tell
per
you-
table,
she'll
they
give you all the
screwed them up
answers, no
last year,
question
put
about it.
more
But
money
he
in
can't
than they
answer.
needed.
Why have him here
Because
wasting our
they
time?
just
Because he should
figured it
know
out.
that he's got
I
to
hate to
have
say
the
it.
answers.
So this year,
his job.
Lynn was asked to fix those accounts to give them actual
I
payroll for
agree.
this year. So
So-
we spent
Well,
less money this year on those
construction
salary
guys
lines because they put in too much last year.
Right,
bad.
but in
So my
her-
number should be
but-
fixed.
Right, you
I'm
might
putting
be,
the you-
but the
They're
problem
putting
comes
it
in
in me.
where
Yeah.
they asked for 33,656.94.
Because originally when she put it in, she took last year's numbers and
I
added
got a
2%.
buddy that's down in
What I
the
found
Bahamas
out
on
is that they
Abaco
asked for too
Island
much
in the
last year
second home.
because
He's
they
a
over
construction
budgeted.
guy. Very good money.
So I fixed the salary lines and put them at what
All
they
it
really
is.
should be versus they did the calculation wrong last year.
Go
And
easy. You know
I
what?
have one question here
Sure.
is, why is it that Dave is doing this when we used to have Willie come and Lester
the part-time
come, and we had all of them come,
Yeah.
because they need to speak to their budget.
Yeah, the only budget in is their salary line. Most of them have that and a tiny little bit of money for like conferences or licenses.
Well,
or
but the
whatever.
answer to that question is, I think a
But the
year or
department
so
should be able to
ago
do
or
it.
2 years ago, the building inspector came in and talked because he was supposedly overseeing all the
He
buildings.
is.
Well,
She's the
Gary
department
used to
head.
do their
No, I
budget.
understand, I think, I prefer that, they should all come. But my question here is, and I think Ted was just gonna ask you the same, but he keeps referring to budget cuts. What budget did these guys have that
There was
got
no
cut?
cuts. There was no cuts.
Well, it's a cut
cut their
between
request.
what they requested
Oh,
and what, you know,
They got.
So
and
their-
what,
so
their
what's
budgets
in the
have
town.
not been cut because every year we had to do this. They bring in more fees than what they have for
No,
salary.
that's not true. Last year we did cut their budget by a little bit. For instance, one of the inspectors, they get code books. David gets code books, and he didn't need the code books, so they didn't buy them last year. So we cut their budget last year. I gotta go.
Well,
But these budgets reflect the salary, the existing
This is
salaries
Lynn
plus
Miller?
2% with everybody, Lynn Miller.
Okay.
2% plus the salaries, and there's no other changes in lines. What did happen, I told Karen, is last year they over budgeted the salaries by a little bit, so we had to fix them this year because they put in too much for the budgets for the salaries last year. So I adjusted a couple of the
so we
salaries to
evened
make
out then, whatever we.
Yeah,
Because
because
I'm
to
sure
me,
there
it's
wasn't
a-
much cut
it's a
because
no-brainer budget.
their
I gotta go.
fees cover all their stuff.
That's a moot point. It's just
No,
like,
I know, I'm
it's
just
just like
saying.
the ambulance. It doesn't make a difference.
Well, the ambulance doesn't cover their whole budget. These people that their income, their fees, as far as I remember, every year, their fees are more than what their expenses are.
It-
And it has been that way for a number of years.
So, anyway, I will take it upon myself to call Lynn Miller tomorrow and see if she can come tomorrow between 6:30 and 4.
So do we need to make a motion to change, to push the
No.
inspectors? No?
No.
Okay.
I just.
Because I don't have a choice. I had to make I had to make it
No,
right
no,
then and there,
I
because
just didn't know.
I don't want them after Wachusett, because once we go through that, we're all gonna wanna go home.
But true.
Amen.
I just think that, just for discussion here.
Mm-hmm.
It's his budget. He should kind of have an idea. And to say that he just heard about it today.
Yep.
Is
You're not going to get any
And-
complaints about
and,
that.
and then that one they kind of half defended him, saying construction guys aren't good with money is a bad
Well,
statement.
in the end,
But no, but I'm just
You
saying,
have to-
there's a couple things here that are wrong.
I agree,
You're right.
and
And Tommy's 100%, he should be here.
I am in
And they
agreement.
all should be here. We pay them a lot of money to do their job. In the big perspective of the thing, they get paid very nice.
Once a year to be here for 15 minutes is not a big deal.
Yeah.
not
And
a
to
lot,
kind
guys.
of, I don't really care that he didn't get home, he hasn't eaten since 5 this morning.
There's a lot of
I feel
people-
bad.
There's a lot of people in the same
Yeah.
boat, so, right.
So we're
So-
still in the meeting here?
We are,
We're
do
still
we
in
have,
the meeting.
so,
What else do we have other than this?
that is it, guys. I'm sorry that this didn't work out.
That's
I
okay.
apologize. I had no idea. I will call Lynn Miller.
What is this?
That is the stuff from Seth.
Yeah, we should talk about this for just a minute.
Oh,
This is the overages, right, that he's expecting
Yep,
so far.
so far.
Well,
And we don't, some of that's gonna have to come from other areas. They are working on it with.
it's all gonna, well, basically, all right, I should shut up for a second.
They're working on it currently between him and Joe and Ron, trying to find out what expense lines will have leftover funds to be able to transfer, because we don't have 21,000 sitting in
Right.
reserve fund. So they are working to see what they can find.
They need to stop spending in other accounts and look at what they can transfer to cover whatever these expenses are.
Mm-hmm.
And don't come to us and say, well, geez, we've overspent here, because that's, I
So-
don't wanna get on that either.
Peter Crane ought to be able to write off the 1,500, the Spectrum right there, just get rid of that.
Give him credit.
They shouldn't charge the town.
They're gonna write off $1,500. I'd really like it to be a few dollars and cents to every resident.
So why do we have cable, so they can watch it in their downtime?
It's probably internet or something.
Okay.
It's more likely internet. I would think
No,
that's what-
that, yeah.
I'm sure it's
Well,
both.
no, it says cable TV though.
Yeah, it's gotta be both.
No, it's
'cause-
cable TV, they got cable TV.
Yeah, they must have cable
But don't
for
they have
when.
broadband? I mean, don't they have a separate internet up there?
I'm sure they have that too.
We could ask, all of these questions are great questions. Send them to me in writing and I will send them to him and we will get answers, because I do not have them. I did not go through them that carefully. I looked at the bottom line, it says $21,000. We don't have that, we have to panic. And everyone told me not to worry, so I'm not worried about it.
I mean, I think
okay,
they
we're
need
just
something to
discussing.
do during their downtime. I
Just
don't have a
talking.
problem with it.
You don't have to have the answers.
Nope, if you send me a tip, let me know
No,
what
I'm just
questions
saying.
you've got. We'll ask him, we can have him come in, we can, I don't think it's necessary until he puts in the reserve fund transfer request, in which case then he will be here to answer those questions at that time.
Well,
It's a big jump in office supplies, though.
I don't know if, my 2 cents on that is, if he's given us this ahead of time, he should come in and explain this to us before we get to a request for reserve, because this is already,
I asked him for that.
okay,
Well,
so.
I asked him specifically to give me a ballpark number so that I knew what to let other people know, because people were asking me what we had left in the reserve fund.
Correct.
So he was nice enough to let us know back in August that he had an unplanned repair to the public safety building. And he told us at that time that he was gonna, not right away, but he was probably gonna come to us. Well, now it's come up to that, and so,
So this will generate a transfer request.
we're not sure.
Okay.
They are working on it currently to see if there's funds to be transferred from other line items.
All right, but if they can't fund it from those other line
That is
items,
correct.
then there'll be.
That is
So
correct.
when that happens, this
Then-
will be effect, and he'll come in and explain.
Exactly.
Good, but then it's too late though.
But then it's too late, that's my point, then it's too late.
Well, I don't know what we can really do about it, but it's,
Well,
We
so
can't do anything
It's already
more
too
than-
late now. I mean, it's already
That's my
spent, right?
point, that's
Yeah.
why he should be here to explain it, so we can come up with maybe come up with a solution before we get to the point that it's too
They are
late.
doing everything they can right now to look at the expense lines to see what they can transfer to cover those expenses. That's everything they can do.
Okay, so he could come in and explain that to us.
He told me that when,
He's told that to you, he can come in and explain it to us, can he? The rest of the committee.
okay, I didn't realize that my word's not good enough, when
I
that I
didn't
spoke
say
to him
that.
and told us that.
Don't twist it around. I'm
I
not
just-
saying that. I
but
did
the-
not say that. I didn't intend that to be that
But the
way.
thing is that's,
Okay,
I'm just trying to get a heads up on what's coming down the pike for transfers.
exactly, and that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay,
Well,
so,
So, from my perspective, if we don't have the information to talk about it, there's no sense in doing anything about it right
no,
now.
this is just for informational purposes. I like to make sure that, I rather have it ahead of time than last minute.
Okay.
it kind of sets it, it's a bad precedence here though. Where I'm going with
Yeah,
is they don't have the money,
right.
and they know they don't have the money. Now,
But there's still
there's some
$21,000 over.
there's some things on here that they can't control.
Right.
Maybe fuel oil, things like that, they
Fuel,
can't
oil,
control.
electricity.
Whatever those
whatever.
things are, those are things you can't, but take those out of it, there's a lot of other things here that they need to happen.
Right.
So-
I understand that.
Would you like me to ask him to come on the 7th to discuss this?
The point is too, we can't control the fuel oil prices either, but something else has gotta be done, because we just can't pull money out of the sky. It's not there.
So is that what we wanna do, is have him here on the 7th? I can ask him, we got Wachusett on the 6th.
Well, so what
And
else
I'd
would be?
I
rather
don't
not-
think it's worth it.
I don't, yeah, let's go back a second. I don't think it's worth it. I think
Not
that
for
this is gonna be,
Yeah.
but I think this is gonna be one of several, right? The highway department's gonna come with one. There's gonna be
Highway
other ones.
department is looking, that's gonna be a free cash article.
But it's gonna be some,
But it's overage.
It's
There
over.
was
But that's
overage.
snow and ice, that's snow and ice,
So we have to.
well, it's,
And
it might
not
be fuel, though.
controllable.
Yeah, it could be.
he did say fuel
Well, my
possibly.
guess is though that every single department can make an argument that something got overspent that they don't have control over,
right.
and that's we all see
So,
an argument every day.
I
for
know
everything.
that we have departments that are already looking at their gift funds and all that kind of stuff to pay for overages.
right.
We have that, so I think we have department heads who are working their best to get these things done. When he explained to me that him and Joe and Ron were sitting down to see which department, where they could get some of these funds, I accepted that. I didn't think that was necessary. If anyone needs to be there to go through that with them, I'll take a volunteer, but I didn't think that was necessary. I thought that was a normal course of business.
Right.
So,
Seems like management decision to me.
Yeah.
yeah.
We don't need to micromanage them, it is what it is. But at the end of the
Right.
game, we're gonna have to know what it is.
Right.
But I mean, if you color in the ones that we know, oil, electricity,
Right.
things like that, I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
Right.
what are you gonna do?
I think when they come to ask for it with the plan, then you say, what caused this and what can we look for?
And
What do
then-
you- what's
and the
gonna
nice
hap-
thing
why
is-
In
is
the
it gonna
future,
change
how can we
next year?
prevent it in the
Well,
future?
he was nice enough to give us a heads up.
Yeah.
Because in the past, when he has brought things, I have said if you gave us a heads up, it would have been much more appreciated. And
Right.
so he did let us know
It-
back in the summer that that $6,000 was unforeseen.
Just glad people actually watch the budget. I'm
Yeah.
not used to that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I do know that they're working on it, and it won't necessarily. There isn't 21,000 in a reserve fund to take, so they are working on it. But part of it might potentially have to come from the reserve fund. When it was sent to us, I just wanted everyone to have a paper copy so that they could look at it.
Yep.
That's all.
Agreed.
So
Cool. I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. So we are adjourned at 6:25 on 3:30.